Hi, this is Damon Pistolka, host of the Faces of Business podcast, where we talk to interesting people about life and business. We cover their backgrounds, obstacles they've encountered, and find out what drives them. Along the way, our guests share nuggets you can use to drive your success. Reach me directly, DAMON at exityourway.us, or check out our website, exityourway.us, for more information. I hope you enjoy our show. All right, everyone. Welcome once again to the Faces of Business. I'm your host, Damon Pistolka, and with me today, I've got a very special guest. It's Jenny Steffensmeier from, I forgot the name of the company today, and I should have it.
Yeah, Steffensmeier Welding, Steffensmeier Welding and Manufacturing.
Why did I not know that? I guess right on my notes over there. If I would have turned my head like that, which I didn't do, it was right there. But it was great because Jenny and I were having a conversation. We met back when COVID had us stuck in the room and all this other good stuff, and I'm thankful for it because Jenny, I just, your story is cool. I think originally I didn't know how cool the story was. I just looked at your business one day and I thought, a welding shop in Iowa that's primarily powered by solar panels. That's just cool. That's what I think what it was. And then we met each other and it's been fun since. So Jenny, I'm glad to have you here today.
Well, I'm super happy to be here, Damon. Been looking forward to it.
Yeah, because it's cool to be able to talk with you, and you've had some challenges in your past. There's no doubt. We were talking about that a little bit before, and you now know a fair amount, and you know probably some of the keys to fabrication shop management, which we're going to talk about today a little bit more. But kind of tell us your background a little bit, and really how you got into the fabrication business.
Oh, golly. Well, geez. I grew up in a small town in southeast Iowa. Went to the small Catholic high school, fell in love with a kid that went to the public school. However, he was about 8 years older than I, so we didn't meet, in the school gymnasium. We met at a, full disclosure, a beer party here in southeast Iowa. And, yeah, literally kissed by the big old oak tree, and the rest is history. We had 5 kids, and Ben had this welding business, and I seriously, I was in high school when we started dating, and he, had this thriving business, and I was off to do something. Oh, let's go to X-ray school. So I went to X-ray technology school, and that's what I did while we, made babies and raised a family. And then super unfortunately, Ben fell ill with something called frontal temporal dementia. And it was a long, insidious disease. And yeah, it was super tough. But yeah, I think Ben would be really proud of what we're doing today. I just inherited what Ben started. I inherited the buildings, the people, the equipment, and essentially none of it is the same as it was, except the buildings and the equipment. Lots of personnel change and all that good stuff. So it's been difficult, but the last couple years have been really, really fun, and I'm not struggling so much. We visited a little before, like you mentioned, and mindset has been a tremendous thing that I have been working on, and I've actually gained some traction the last year or so, and so it makes all the difference.
Yeah. Well, and looking back on your website, there's a little bit of a history on there. And, Ben started, what is it, 2011. He couldn't work in the business anymore. 2015, he passed from that. And then you were like you said, you were an X-ray technician, or you were in the hospital with running an X-ray machine or whatever it was. And you, I mean, you weren't managing a fabrication business. You probably came and visited him at the shop once in a while and maybe helped him out a little bit here and there. But what was your involvement prior to that?
Well, you're right. I was just making babies while he was making stuff with metal. But he would ask me over the years, would you want to come in and help? He had one secretary.
Mm-hmm.
And so eventually, like, yeah, we're not having any more babies. And so I came in and helped Carla. And, I literally have told this story in the last 2 days. Actually, Ben's brother, one of his brothers who worked here for 31 years, he and I had a couple conversations, one this morning, and he unfortunately left the company during those trying times. Things were hard for everybody, not just me.
Oh yeah.
But so I would come in and help Carla, and a desk was built for me because I'm not going to go away again. So, but I literally just said to Glenn this morning, Glenn, I was just listening to whatever Carla said, like trying to remember what Carla was explaining and how to do this and that, like buy steel, invoice customers, gather, employee times and all of that stuff. So thank goodness I did have that background, and I had that involvement with the company, because otherwise it would have really been, I have absolutely no idea. So that's how I started.
Yeah. So there you are in 2015, 2016. You're like, you went from that to now it's yours, and you have to figure out how you're going to keep things rolling forward. And so the bounce forward a little bit, and you've got this fabrication shop, you got people running in there, and things are happening. So what were some of the things that you remember that were like kept you up at night? Was it the fact that the sales? Was it running the facility? What were some of the things that you really went, wow, that was a big problem, and I remember it really bugging me back then?
Okay, Damon, you and I talked about this a while back in one of our conversations. I don't know if you remember it, but operations has always been my what keeps me up at night, because the way Ben did the business, it worked. It worked then. He had a couple of brothers and some buddies, and they all just came to work and worked their tails off. And, there wasn't all this profit margins and, let's add up these times and see how we came out at the end of the day. And, it's just like, I'm probably oversimplifying it, but Ben did an amazing job of keeping business separate from home, because he loved what he did here. There's no question. So what kept me up was, what do you mean you don't know if we made or lost money on that? Oh my goodness, are you not adding this up? Like, and David, I asked you, how do you collect times and not make people feel like they're micromanaged? But it's like, you guys, if you don't turn your time in, then how do we know how much time you took? Time is money. And, and you're like, forget all that. Just at the end of the day, I paid this much out and we took this much money in. It's that simple. Like, and oh my goodness, I have not forgotten that. And so there's a balance, and there's a somewhere in between, like what you really need to know. And I will, this is full confession. There was a load off my back Saturday when I had a conversation with this brother-in-law of mine who no longer works for us. But oh my God, it was, Glenn, I am so sorry. I just cannot. I can see why and how it all happened. It was a perfect storm. I'm losing my best friend and lover. And
It's
and so, like, I wasn't listening to anybody, including you, Glenn. I wasn't listening. I needed somebody to, sit me down and shake me and say, Jenny, But he told me, he said, you had so many people coming at you from every
Yeah.
direction. And I'm like, yeah, I did. So it was total chaos. And so it was operations, and it still is operations, because
Yeah.
operations means people, that's employees,
Yeah.
and that's been the hardest part for me, is the leadership. I wasn't leading anybody or anything, because I was not equipped to do so whatsoever. Absolutely
Mhm.
not equipped. I am today. So if I let my temper come out, or
Yeah.
then shame on me, because I know better now.
Yeah.
It's the mindset thing. I'm in a different
It,
place,
it
and
is.
I have learned how to surround myself with people that will help and support. And
Yeah.
yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome, because it is, and in an unfortunate situation that you're thrust into, but it's really allowed you to grow in a different direction that you never thought you would. And even though the challenges are there and super tough, and just but it's pushed you in different directions. And I mean, the things that you're doing now, I mean, you were in the Goldman Sachs 10,000 or something like that. You're in a small business program with them, and we'll talk about some other stuff after that. But I mean, you're speaking around in the region, inspiring other women to get involved in manufacturing, kids to get into manufacturing. I mean, it's just, it's a horrible situation. The end result now, in spite of that, is really something inspirational,
well,
though. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it is.
no, it still doesn't. But I did come to I don't know, I had an aha moment one day. It was the why. Why are we doing this? You mentioned Goldman Sachs. I literally just got off a call prior to us jumping on with a Goldman Sachs colleague. And we were talking about our whys, as small business owners.
Yep.
Why are we doing this? Oh my God, And I said, well, this is why, because we get to do really cool stuff, like provide
Yeah.
opportunity for people that want to work. For me, it's work in the skilled trades. Ben Steffensmeier, that guy worked with his hands. He
Yeah.
had amazing hands. I love that man's hands. And he used them. He was brilliant with his hands. Me, no, not so much.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out what am I even doing? This is Ben's dream. This is Ben's gig. Well, I figured out that I gotta figure out what is it for me? What am I supposed to be doing with this? And that's what it is. It's providing opportunity for other people that want to work in this era, in this area.
Yeah.
We have all the equipment here to do it. We got lasers and brake presses, welding. Like God, if you want to use those skills, I got one roof. You can do it from one end to the other of this place.
Yeah. Yeah. If you like to build stuff out of metal, I mean, that's your kind of place, is to walk into where you're at, because your custom fabrication that you're doing, you're probably not doing the same thing day in and day out, and different kinds of materials, different kinds of equipment, different kinds of processes you need to use to make the things that you guys make.
Well, absolutely. And we all know about workforce issues. And so, processes become more and more important, because, I mean, you're trying to set people up for success. And if there's a process and you just follow this process, we should be good. The custom one-off stuff, that's a little trickier. That takes years of experience to gain, the ability to do that profitably.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's finding those folks and finding your niche, who exactly are you targeting? Every business has to do that. So
Yeah.
not exempt.
Yeah. Yeah. So this has been, so you've started on a couple other things. I read something about, I think was it last year or the year before, your daughter decided, I see something in the background there that your daughter decided to do. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so Rachel, I hired Rachel totally legitly. She had been working a job out of college, and she shared with me that she was going to start pursuing perhaps doing something else. And so I'm like, oh my God, I want her. Like I need her. I need a marketing website person here.
Yeah.
So I sat down and drafted up the official offer letter and all this. She was on her second interview with this place. So like this is getting serious. So I
Yeah.
stood at her house, slid the thing under her locked door. I just put something, look at your doorway. And she turned down more money to work here. And
Yeah.
I think that was 3 years ago. So she does do our website marketing, but she's been really that effort's been tabled because we've got another need. This is of course small business. We're all
Yeah.
wearing
Yeah.
full hats. But she came to me one day with this. She was trying to think of something that we could make here at the welding company that would be our own product line.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's at her house looking around and she sees her dumbbells on her floor and said, "Well, those are steel. We could make weights, but they're ugly." And so she came up with this idea to make decorative weights and asked me what I thought. So of course we go to our machinist and he, probably gives a couple eye rolls and yeah, well, 13 hours or so to, pop one of these things out of a CNC. We're thinking, oh man, we're going to be making truckloads of these things. So we got to find a faster way. So we found a foundry and, you see those are the four. There's an 8, 10, 15, and 20 pound weight that you work out with and then put this beautiful decor piece in your space. So it's, home decor. You want your space to look good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, right outside my office, and I've got my gym set up in my home office here, and there's weights out there. It looks horrible. It looks horrible.
So you need some subtle impacts.
I saw it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So that's cool though that you're able to bring your daughter back in, working with you and helping with the business, and then develop another product line. So now what is that product line again? Make sure you said it and I kind of cut it off there.
Well, the name of the company is Subtle Impacts.
Subtle Impact. Okay.
Yeah. So, Rachel she also has a photography business. So she does all of the Instagram and all of that stuff. Like she had to explain to me one day, Rachel, what's an influencer? What's an influencer? Oh,
yeah.
Mom, I'm like, oh God, I get it now, but I don't know. It's been a lot of fun to do this with Rachel. And we have 5 kids. So she works at the company. How old is Aaron? Aaron will be 22 next month. He works here at the company. And our youngest son is a Marine. But his plan is to come back here when he's finished with the Marine Corps in 3 years, and he'll, carry on at Steffensmeier Welding. So yeah, I'm super excited. I wish he was back. Don't tell him, but I wish he was back right now. We could really use his help. He's a good kid.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible because they're going to be able to carry that legacy on, and it's really going to be something.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, Aaron, this is a true story. One of the reasons I recently reached out to that brother-in-law is because he happens to be the 22-year-old son's godfather.
Yeah.
So, hey, Glenn, I think that Aaron is a chip off the old block. I think that he is just like his dad. And not to go into all the detail, but Glenn laughed and agreed that yes, he is Ben. So,
that's awesome.
Very visionary, not so much attention to detail. So, everybody's got their seat on the bus and we just got to find everybody's seat. And yeah,
That's for sure. Well, and in a family business, it's nice to be able to involve family when it makes sense. And with Rachel, I mean, one of the things that you're doing that many small manufacturing companies don't do enough of is any digital efforts and moving down the road that way. And just being able to do that allows you to compete at a different level than a lot of other people.
for sure. I completely agree. We're not able to put enough the attention on that we should be. Uh, in my opinion, I think it's just I had lunch with our tooling rep today, and we
Mm-hmm.
were talking about the days of going and knocking on people's doors. Of course, I love this, Damon. I love what we're doing right now. This relationship stuff that will never change. Hopefully, we can thank COVID for that, probably.
Yeah.
In some ways, but you got to have a website, and it has to be a functioning website.
Yeah.
Uh, we have capacity right now at Steffensmeier Welding, and it's you know targeting the folks that is our core competencies and letting them know that, hey, we're here, we exist. And because I know there are people out there with their own capacity issues, and they're having to outsource exactly what we do here. And
Yeah.
so it's just making that connection. And
Yeah, it
yeah,
is. And when you look at it, and this is one of the things that that we work a lot with people in some of our training, is that when you look at the buyer demographics, right? The buyers aren't me, they aren't you anymore. The buyers are in their 30s and 40s, and they are grew up with Google. The first thing they're going to do to figure out where they should buy something is Google it. And if you don't come up when they search the right words, the person that does is who gets that business a lot of times, or one of those first few are going to
yeah,
get that business. And it's so critical to have that part of it understood. And then the other thing that's happened too is that the way that other places like LinkedIn, for you're kind of in a B2B setting like you're in, they're gonna look at your website, but then they might go look at LinkedIn. They might look at you. They might look at your company part on LinkedIn. They might look at some of the other employees to see these things. And just there's so much of that happens anymore before anyone even makes any contact with a company.
yeah, yeah. What's coming up, Damon, is in addition to the relationship with customers, is the relationship with competitors. I
Yeah.
had a call from a friendly fabricator.
Mm-hmm.
Can you call us competitors? We help each other out.
Yeah.
Um, and he wanted to know, what are you doing for benefits? What are
Yeah.
you offering, and how are you attracting and retaining employees? Because they're really struggling. And so, not only this whole it's relationships with customers, vendors, and competitors. We are
Yeah.
all struggling to figure it out. Supply chain, and I'm like, hey, if you have anything you want us to, because he said he's got so much work, he's got so much stuff he could bid on, but he said there's no point in bidding on it because I don't have the workforce to get it done. So,
Yeah.
reminding them that, hey, send something over. We're happy to take a look at it if we can help you out until you get,
Mm-hmm.
some help.
Yeah.
So, I'm really, I don't know. I think we're really fortunate here in Iowa. Everybody seems to want to help each other, and
Yeah.
I guess I can go back to Ben's illness, and I recognized immediately that, that frontal temporal dementia diagnosis. Yeah, you said Google. I was on Google. Like they said the words in the doctor's office, and I went and sat next to Ben in the office because he said, have a seat and we want to refer you. So I'm Googling frontal temporal dementia, and I'm like, well, I need to figure out what this is and what do I need to do. And
Yeah.
the same thing has happened with the business. I just
Yeah.
need to talk to people that, can explain stuff and help me figure this out. And I would not be where we are today without the graciousness of other folks taking time to spend with little Jenny to say, here, why don't you try this, or think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the relationship building. I love the networking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, because it is. And I tell you, people ask me about competitors. I say I have zero competitors. And when you approach business like that, if I was Coca-Cola, yes, Pepsi's the competitor, right? Oh, that's just different. We're not Coca-Cola. We're not looking at, we have significant market share in anything we do in most, 99.9% of the business in the United States, even if you do the same darn thing as somebody across the street from you. And when you look at it that way, I think it really allows you to think of things differently. And there's someone, a guy I know on from LinkedIn, Dan Bigger. He's out in South Carolina, I believe. He sells extruded products for a fairly large extruded company. He said, I don't have any competitors. We have no competitors. He said, I talk to them all. We know each other. We refer work back and forth because they've got capacity in something we don't. It's like, and you look at extrusion or mold. He was in molding before that, molded products before that. That's super high competitive. I mean, but he said, we don't have competitors because we all work together to get the work. And I think that's so cool, because in manufacturing in the United States anymore, the smaller businesses in manufacturing, when you work together, you all can be a lot better and more effective, and everybody wins. It's not like there's not enough business. It's like there's not enough people that understand the business or know about your business to be able to get the business to you. Or you look at a job and you go, it's too big. But if you thought about it as, it was too big for me, but if myself and these other 3 places work together, we can do it.
Absolutely. So I mentioned Ben's skill with his hands, and his passion there. And I really, the aha moment I had with my why to give back, because Ben was always doing that. I believe that Ben was always giving. He was very generous in that way. And so I don't know, I came up with, and not in any certain order, but this is my thing, community, customers, employees. So you said everybody wins. Everybody wins. As I mentioned, we're small town Iowa here. These small towns are, fighting to stay alive. Schools are going away. Library, so what are we doing to attract and retain our communities? So in the manufacturing is I don't know, it's just such a cool sector. And you mentioned LinkedIn. There are manufacturing groups that are there is such a buzz.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love the energy. I could just sit on calls all day talking to people about what they're doing, how they're doing it.
Yeah.
It's fun stuff. It's really fun. And when you're giving, the receiving, it all just is happening very naturally. And I mean, I don't want to get whatever, but it's such a feel good, and that is what Ben did. If I'm sitting in, this is my office. This used to be Ben and I's bedroom. So this is of the business. And we lived here. 4 of the 5 kids were born while we lived here. You could hear Ben just laughing downstairs. His laugh was just, he loved it. And that's what I feel like is happening in manufacturing. There's so much buzz about it, and people are fired up. We're going to get these kids engaged. And oh my gosh, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I know that there's supply chain issues and there's workforce and whatever. Yeah, I know. But what are we going to do? What am I going to do? Just Ben's gone. I'm going to have to just not get out of bed, and I just can't go on. No, we're all going to get out of bed, and we're going to go on and we're going to say, look, you want a good job. You want to make a career out of something.
Yeah.
You know, I got a machinist that absolutely loves to make chips fly. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, get these kids exposed and.
Well, and that's it. I mean, when you look at it, and I'm fortunate enough to talk to a lot of people about getting young kids interested in manufacturing. And I go, 99% of the kids don't even know what manufacturing is. They don't. I mean, if we talked to even probably in the high school there, if we said, how many people have ever seen metal fabrication? Maybe some of them, but a lot of them wasn't even there. And you move into a place that's in a more metropolitan setting, and there's like hardly any hands would come up. They don't understand, like you said, it is a career. It is something that you can build a life on, that you can build a family on, and you can have truly engaging and interesting work.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to see people. I can't even tell you all the people that I get to talk to that are in the high schools. Matt Goosey's one that comes to mind out of Wisconsin with his machining, MRS machining. And he's been featured with, I don't know, Modern Machine Shop magazine or something. Like he's like in the top shops and blah, blah, blah. He just does a really good job of it. But he actually even went to the extent that he started, his father, I think, started something years ago where they actually have a machining program in the local high school or something like that, or in the tech school that they started, that was actually just it's set up to get kids in high school involved. And he brings tours into the high school. He does all these other things that to engage them. And consequently, this work over the years has allowed him to have like an average age on the people that are working in his company. It's like 28 years old or something like that. What's the average work age of people in most companies? It's in their 50s.
You know, gosh, David, it's crazy what you're saying, because I literally was just talking to one of my employees this morning about, you know, look at this place. Now, there's only 12 of us now.
Yeah.
But I can say we can leverage our people just by the age. Look at the age of everybody that works here. I mean, we are a young group.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's cool.
It's exciting, and I'm really looking forward to 2022. We've got some good stuff going on, and it's fun.
What's on the horizon? What are you excited for 2022? Do you see that in your area? Is the business picking up, or are people finding out that Steffensmeier Welding and Manufacturing is there and ready to build, make the metal fabricated products they need? What's happening?
Well, I've gotten involved with some folks that I'm finding out that there's a lot of work out there. As I mentioned that earlier. So I recently joined Farm Equipment Manufacturer Association, and they're, again, another really energetic, enthusiastic, passionate people about, what they're doing. And they need help. They need people to make stuff. And so,
nice.
Just that's a super exciting. I mean, it's
very cool.
It's brand new. I just went to that convention here this fall. And so, there's just more to come on that. And this is like, I don't know. I'm not even going to say I'm embarrassed about this. I'm going to say in 39 years of business, we are undertaking, this is Rachel and I, our first ever strategic business planning session. Like, ever hear one of those? Sometimes I serve on different boards. And so I'm so humbled to get to participate in some of these things and just learn from really smart people, how to do some of this stuff. But it's like, yes, I was kind of thrust into this role under some very unfortunate circumstances. But I guess maybe that's what I feel like. Even though it's been 39 years, we're kind of just getting started almost.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And with a really good group. I mean, God, I have the best people working for me right now, and I'm so proud of them. And it's, I mean, how cool is it that I've got, 2 of the 5 kids participating in it?
Yeah.
And my kids have been through this journey with me because
Yeah.
Old mom that hasn't done as good a job as dad did separating work from home. Yeah. They've heard their mom's struggles, and then they chose to come here and be part of it. No, they get it. They understand what's going on and what needs to happen, and so it's fun to have them on board and actually be participating instead of just being on the receiving end of, oh, what about this and what about that? Yeah. So.
Well, it's really, that's cool, because I think what's happening, and you're really showing it and doing it. First of all, it's awesome seeing your face light up when you talk about your team and your people and how proud you are of it. And I know that takes a lot of work, and it's cool to see that, because then that allows you to go out and do these other things that you're looking at now. This Farm Equipment Manufacturing Association, your strategic business planning, so you can really see that path that you're going to be going down, and then it's execution from there on out. And it's going to be 2022 is probably going to be a good year for you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and the thing is that whenever we're sitting here as business owners, I think after a while you just get conditioned that a good year does not mean a year without challenges. It just means it's a good year. And I think a part of that is setting yourself up, and you got the people. I mean, I know that's one of the biggest struggles, and getting more of them, I'm sure, is going to be a difficult challenge. But having a good base of people to start with is so key, because they will help you go much farther, much faster. But it's awesome. Well, so when you look at it, what do you think some of the challenges? I mean, we've had, I've talked to some people that are in fabrication and other things, and it's just the acceleration and price increases on steel and things like that. Is that kind of stuff leveled off any, or is it still just going nuts?
I think there's been some leveling off. Maybe it's the new norm kind of thing. So, but I think workforce is going to continue to be an issue. It was an issue before COVID. We all know that. So it'll continue to be. We've struggled with the kind of the engineering aspect. It's been a bottleneck here, but recently relieved. And so I think our next bottleneck, this is how it works. It just moves
around. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll need more welders. We'll need more operators. And, but so I'm supposed to be the leader. I'm supposed to be the visionary. So what do I want? Well, the community employee giving back thing. I just want this to be the best place to work, for like everybody wants to work here, because it's just like, you just cannot work at a better place. And, I remind these guys that, we are it. Like we do get to decide this. We don't have layers and layers of whatever to go through. No, it's just us. So like, a plan will help. A plan would be nice.
Yeah.
And the vision, somebody's got to set the vision. So I think, your question, what struggles do I see? It'll be workforce and executing on the goals that we come up with in the plan. The small business thing is always a struggle, because we just don't have the resources that some other bigger places do, and so you're always battling that. But
well, that's where a good team though helps. A good team helps that a lot. I mean, it makes a huge difference because the flexibility and what you need to do to get things done and get them done right, to make sure the customers are happy with the products and everything else. But the team is the basis, and if you've got that started, I think that's good. And you're right, though. If you are the best place to work, I think that's an awesome thing to really focus on, because if you are the best place to work and you're making money, you're going to have people. If people want to work there, that's going to at least help your workforce development a little bit, but it's going to make it will make your stuff going out the door a lot better products. You know, some people don't understand that or fail to understand that, but when people are happy making their stuff, coming to work, they're happy about the people they work with, you know, just at least, hey, we're doing it. We're in this together. We're having a good time. We're still working, but that's like night and day for the product that goes out the door and everything else that happens around it. And if that's one of your goals, I think you're going to have some good times in 2022.
It's already happening. It's here. It's
good. That's awesome. Well, have you guys had I mean, it's just the start of winter. Has it have snow yet or no?
We had some flurries maybe a few weeks ago. Flurries, nothing that stuck. Boy, the temperature dropped today. It's chilly out there today. Yeah. So I don't know. It's not going to keep me from getting my runs in.
There you go.
Get my
That's
runs
good
in.
stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, Jenny, thanks so much for being here today, because I tell you, you talk humbly about your business, but you've done big things. And I think it's so cool to see that you're able to, first of all, continue the family business, see your kids working in it, building that legacy, helping the community. It's really something. And I know you don't see that because you're in there doing it, but it is making a big impact.
Well, Damon, thank you very much. Truly, thank you. Thanks for having me on. This was a ton of fun.
Good. Because when you got on, you're like, oh, geez, you know, how many people and stuff? But no, we're just going to talk about stuff. That's all we do. But I'm so glad to have you here. And again, we have Jenny Steffensmeier from Steffensmeier Welding and Manufacturing. In what town? And how do they get a hold of you?
In Pilot Grove, Iowa.
There we go. Yeah. And then your website is
steffweld.com.
Yep. And I will put that in the show notes, so that's in there, and that'll be there. And what's the phone number if somebody wants awesome fabrication services in Iowa?
Yep. Call us at 319-469-3961.
Great. Well, Jenny, thanks so much for being here. We had Ingor was on. Ingor is actually I believe Ingor's outside of Ontario. Awesome. She's good and says hello. Thanks for listening, Ingor. And thanks everyone else for being on here. We're so appreciative of you listening to us today. I hope that hearing Jenny, her story, and how her business is just going to kill it in 2022 is giving you a little bit of inspiration. I know it just fires me up to see her, watch her face, and have some fun talking tonight. We will be back again Thursday, and we're going to be talking about what's it Thursday? Achieving CEO success and happiness. So it's a little bit different topic. We'll see how that goes. It's going to be awesome. But thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. We're signing out for now. Jenny, just stay on, and we'll talk a little bit after we're done.
All right. Thank you.